All right, welcome back. We're the Dutton Duo. I'm
The Dutton
Kylie.
Duo.
Yeah.
The Dutton Cast.
Yeah. Okay, I'm Kylie.
What are we doing today, Kylie?
Oh.
I'm Cam.
We are asking some questions.
From where?
Reddit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you a Redditor?
No, please. Actually, please don't say that. And we're just gonna jump right into it. Actually,
Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of time to waste. Limited
we
airtime.
don't. It's like this is it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start us off, Cameron. What is the hardest rejection you've ever experienced?
I'm gonna do a couple because I can never pick. Like, I can never settle on something being the worst or best of anything.
It's embarrassing that you've been rejected that many times.
Well, there's some pretty good ones. I didn't say I was rejected that many times. I was giving you an example. I think you took that out of context.
But
That's
at
hearsay. Bruh, what was I talking about? Rejection?
Yeah.
I think the first time I was ever, like, one of the worst rejections I ever experienced, I think it was, like, there was this one girl, Kate, elementary school, at the playground recess,
Pretty far
and...
back.
No, it is far back, but listen, so me and my friend were, like, I don't know what we were doing, because, like, the way it happened, like, the way I told this chick I liked her and her response, which is the rejection part, I'll get there, but, like, the way it happened, I must have been, like, I was with Diego, my childhood friend.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
At the playground. I must
Yeah.
have been, like, holding his arms or something. Because I remember when I asked it, and I can see why, it's pretty cringe.
Okay.
Like, she was just, like, I saw her and she was close, and, like, for some reason in my head, I was like, now's the time to confess. And so I'm, like, swinging on, like, Diego's arms or something. I remember going, like, hey, I like you. And then she immediately was like, ew, no. And it was really sad for a while. And then she, like, kept, like, she, like, was just gone. I was just like, damn. Because, like, she went and played at another part of the playground. And then she eventually came back and just, like, restated it. So, like, what did you mean? You mean, like, you like me? I'm like, yeah, I think you're cute. And she was like, oh. And then we were walking back to the class, and there was one girl, I think her name was Hannah, but she had, like, I remember the way she, like, it was a different girl, but, like, Katie grabbed her and, like dragged her and just, like, I think, like, this is more you. And literally said that. Like, elementary school girls are mean, Kylie. But, and then,
Okay.
honestly, that's probably cake. I don't...
Alright. I mean, those are solid.
What
They're
about
not
you?
super great. I in, like, elementary school, super pretty far back, too. It might have even been middle school. Maybe. I can't remember. But there was this guy that I had a crush on for, like, ever. His name was Sam. And this one time, I had already asked him out, and he said no. But, you know, as time progressed, I figured eventually he'd have to like me. So it was recess, and I was wearing a dress. I felt so pretty, and I followed him around the entire recess and asked him at least 5 times if he'd go out with me over and over.
No, that's the thing about elementary school relationships is that you do that. Like, you think for some reason that, like... Because I did the same thing. I remember, like, I got rejected, and I kept asking her.
I was like, like, you're really not going to? Like, please? Like, will you please go out with me? No. Like, and actually, as a matter of fact, funny story, he ended up asking me out in high school, and we dated.
Yeah, and then you go with your best friend.
He did go with my best friend.
True. Before we moved. Which is so funny. They were like, well, we thought you were moving anyway, so, like, why wait?
They lasted a pretty long time. Until she realized that he was a POS.
Hmm.
But maybe she realized that.
For me, it's not... I don't really have a lot of, like, embarrassing rejection stories because I didn't really ask that many people out, so I was never really rejected. But there's a lot of embarrassing stories just, like, in front of crushes. Like, what do you think your most embarrassing story in front of your crushes or partner? One of mine, for sure. I mean, there's... Like, my entire crush on this chick named Emma Welch that was in my my class in, like, kindergarten and first grade, I think second.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nothing but cringy experiences. Like, I remember being in line to go inside, and it was cold, and I, like, sneezed or something, and she was right in front of me. They're the longest. I'm talking the gooeyest and greenest and thickest snot, like probably down to here, like past my. I'm just trying to go to like hide it, and then like people are looking. I'm just like, and yeah, that was that one. And I remember, I don't think I understood social cues very well as a kid. It was like Valentine's Day, and you know how like everyone puts their Valentine's Day little
The gifts.
thing, and you can put your little cards in there. That's how we did ours. I remember I went and got like a bunch of Batman ones because I thought they were cool. And like these two people were talking about it. Like one guy was like talking to him about like the card, and like they got for each other. I was just like, oh yeah, did you guys get mine? And they looked at me like they seriously looked at me like adults looking at a kid trying to join a conversation. Like it was bizarre, and they just ignored me. I was just like, oh well, you must have fallen out, and it was sad.
That's so sad. That's heartbreaking.
All of elementary school is heartbreaking for me. All right, next question.
Okay, alright. If you could turn into an object, what object would it be?
Am I conscious?
Yeah,
Am
like
I
you
permanently-
know that you are that object.
But I'm permanently like, stuck as that object for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Like you can't, yeah.
Do I have like weird appendages that are like
Like you're the object.
Okay, so it's saying that if I chose to be this NASA cup,
You're the cup. Like you're consciously, like you're like the cup.
and do I just like kind of see like 360? Is
Yeah.
that like I just have like a perception?
I feel like maybe you just have like one view maybe. Like this side
Like
of the cup
just
is
out
your
of the
face.
NASA's?
Yeah.
Or I guess one side, but
Yeah.
so this is like a fucking curse. Like this really isn't like a good thing.
No, it's not.
Well, if I could be any, I don't. That sounds like shit. Maybe a cigarette, so I'd be hopefully killed. Or do you think like I'd live on as I smoke?
Like no, like it's the little butt. Like
Yeah, the bud?
Yeah. There's no disappearing. I'd want to be water.
I don't want to. I would be water, but it's like,
Maybe fire. You
am I
burn
gonna
out.
am I gonna feel all of the shit that's inside me? Am I gonna feel each individual fish?
Like, oh, you're gonna be like the ocean water, not like a cup of water.
Oh well, I mean, you should have specified, girl. You literally said I want to be water.
Well, like,
Next question.
okay. How would you recover from saying bye, love you when signing off of a work call?
I'd commit to it.
I would commit to it too.
I'd say it again. I'd say it every time.
You'd
So
be like.
I mean, they would think it's just, oh, like Cam's really sweet. He's like, he always, like, hey, make sure you get home safe tonight, Jer. Call him
like
all
you're
nicknames.
nicknaming them
Yeah.
and everything. Okay. What is a real life story about people you know? That would be a great plot of a movie.
Of other people, not myself.
You think that you could be a movie?
Yeah. You don't think you could be?
I think your movie would be really boring.
I don't think you know how to film a movie then.
I feel like your movie would be the equivalent of like
No, because like no. You're not imagining the actual like directorial guidance of what my movie would be. Like this whole part, like all of this boring shit's been happening, that would literally happen within like 10 minutes of like a montage.
But what are the fun parts of your life that you'd put in there?
It's not necessarily fun, bro. It's sad.
So it'd be like it'd be a sad movie.
Yeah, it'd be about me like being in like those special ed classes when I was a kid and being like mistreated by teachers and being ostracized, and then like got to high school and I was like struggling in school and shit, but the whole time it's because I had to be on Adderall. I could talk about like my druggy brother and it's kind of an awkward topic now.
It's
Yeah, there's a lot of tension in the air. I think we should move on.
Okay. What would be a fun thing to call random people and tell them? Like given the chance you're just like prank calling people, what's your like go-to like prank calling line?
Like a go-to prank call?
Yeah, like you're prank calling. What's your like what are you saying? Like, oh, your house is on fire. Your refrigerator's running. Like
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think prank calls are funny. So it's really hard for me to imagine anything that I'm gonna say that is like gonna be like,
Okay.
because like I don't think you could show me a prank call video and I laugh.
I think Jenna Marbles has funny prank call videos.
I've never seen them.
Well, maybe perhaps after this, I can. Okay. What fictional character do you most identify with? And don't give me
Forrest
some. You don't. No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because the entire time I grew up, I was treated like a special ed kid. And that entire story is about somebody who has mental impairment, still able to pursue everything. No, not really. I just fuck with the movie. I'd probably say I relate. I just really vibe with that movie. Is what I meant to say. I do have a speech impediment, and sometimes I stutter hard, and like the word comes out really misconstrued.
Oh, okay.
No, it's true though.
This is a good question for you because I remember you talking about this before. But what's the best school prank you've ever made or seen someone make?
Which one did I tell you?
That you put a like
Stink bomb.
stink bomb.
That one's a good one. Stink bombs. Like, all right. So to set the scape, the scene. It's me, Graham, and my friend Israel.
Israel.
Yeah, Israel.
Wow.
Graham is an asshole, and that's not a bad word, is it? If you think it is, then that's different. But we're gonna wait for that one.
Okay.
He was. Can I say?
You can say poo poo head. Or like a pee pee head.
We had a very like bully friendship type thing where we all just
mean.
we were all just mean to each other, but we
Okay.
thought it was in good spirit.
It was
never
funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like Graham just brings these stink bombs one day and he's just chucking them in the hallway and stuff, and then we get to gym class and it's the last period of the day and we're all best friends, we're all hanging out together, but me and Graham are like, hey, let's go sneak into the locker room and put a stink bomb in Israel's bag. And then we do that, right? And we wait.
Maybe you whisper that into the mic.
Hey, we're gonna sneak into the locker room and put a stink bomb in Israel's backpack and then wait and break it when he goes to get on the bus. And so like it was a great idea. And this is actually the first time I ever got a referral or any type of like written up at school. The
Okay.
one and only time. Ruined my record.
Is referral like a thing that happens to like all states?
No, it's a Georgia thing. It's like getting written up. Like I was just
It stays on his permanent record.
Yeah. But anyway, so like these are glass stink bombs, and so we put it in like the front pocket.
Yeah.
And he comes and puts it on, and we're trying to break it. Like I don't know. If you would imagine, maybe from someone else's perspective,
Like
you
someone in the hall. Okay.
you see two kids
Mhm.
punching the absolute. Can you say hell?
Yeah.
The absolute hell out of this kid's bag,
Yeah.
trying to break it. Like he's like, "What are you guys doing?" And like we take the bag off of him, we're throwing it on the ground, trying to break the glass in there. So like the stink bomb happens, and it's just not working. He's like, "Stop!" Because we're just beating up on his bag, and then one of us start like stomping on it. It breaks because you smell it. It hits us instantly. He just goes and like he starts gagging and whatnot, and we're all laughing like crazy about it and stuff. And then the bell rings, and he's like walking through the hallway, and everyone's looking at him. He ends up leaving the bag at the school because he wasn't going to bring it on the bus.
Right.
Also, I would like to clarify that in no way do I think that I am that this is like not kind of mean or like potentially like harmful to someone's like esteem or something, but yeah. The next day or that weekend, because it was Friday, so we got back to school and we get called up to the office, and
Oh, like the weekend could pass by.
yeah, because we did it Friday,
Oh.
and then he left the bag there overnight, and then like yada yada. So we get called into the office, and they're asking about it and stuff, and which is kind of messed up. My friend Graham completely tried to throw me under the bus.
Well, I feel like that's, you know, what kids do.
Probably not me though. I'm extremely honest.
You're a kid. No, you're not.
when I was a kid, I was extremely honest. I confessed everything to my teachers, and I never got in trouble for it, so why would I ever change? Old people love, like, honest kids that are just going to tell them the truth. Like, anyways, I'm talking to her, and she's literally grilling me about it. She's like, are you sure it wasn't you that put it in his bag, or that it wasn't you that broke it? I was like, Grandpa brought the stink bombs. We both put it in his bag, and we both were breaking it. And then it was yada yada, but she pulls up she goes, Cameron Dutton? Okay. Looks like you've never been in trouble until now. And I'm just sitting there in a chair, and I'm literally about to cry. Like, I can't handle authority figures, like,
Did they know that you were special?
I'm not special, but,
No, but, like, academically, it was on your, like, stuff.
This was when we lived in Georgia. Hershey Elementary School is a school that basically said that me and Katrina were going to be some background information. Indiana has a terrible school system. No, I'm going to finish before you call me special again.
Okay.
Hershey Elementary School considered both me and Katrina to be mentally handicapped.
Right.
And were teaching us a year behind on top of holding us back.
Yeah.
And, like, when I tell you, when I went to class and stuff, you're not given work, you're given busy work. And, like, whenever I got to watch a movie in class, like, in the main class, my teacher would send me to the special ed class to do work. Why don't you go ask Miss Warren if there's any homework or any work you can do right now? And, like, I get heated. I go in there, like, I walk there, right? And I open the door, and I was like, hey, do you have any work for me? She told me to come ask. And she was like, yeah, hold on, I can get you something. And then she, like, would literally give me an assignment just to give me an assignment, just because I came in, like, basically was asking for one. And then I got, like, kind of wise to it, and I would walk halfway down the hallway, turn back around, and said there was nothing there. And she's like, are you sure? I don't think they liked me very much, bro. It was kind of messed up. Anyways, jumping back to now, Kylie. No, the Georgia school, like, they might have been able to check that I was in, like, an IEP, but they did not consider us mentally handicapped. We were normal students with learning disabilities.
That's good.
It is good. Damn. But she guilted me into it, like, yada yada. And then she made us dig out all the glass that was in there by hand. Like literally, I remember we went outside, and she's staring at us, and me and Grim are like, she was like, all right, clean it. Or you guys want to buy him a new bag. I'm like, okay. And, like, I go to do it, and I'm like, it's glass. And she's like, get it out. And I'm sitting there, like, throwing those Johns.
Why would he not have just bought in your bag anyway?
I mean, the smell doesn't stay.
Oh, maybe it would.
Next story.
Okay. What part of a kid's movie completely scarred you? And actually, I'll go ahead and go first, because it was Monster House. It was the house. It was when, the story of the wife, like, how she, like, died, like, scarred me. It was so scary. Like, the fact that she was the house was really scary. Or Coraline really scared me.
Yeah, I'm kind of struggling to think of, like, an animated film that
I guess it could be real, too.
Like a real film that scarred me?
Yeah.
The Grudge as a kid. Every horror movie. Like, so...
Yeah, okay.
So, this... I watched The Boogeyman, The Grudge, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street with, like, mom and dad and stuff, and I was, like, really young still. I watched, like, all those horror movies. Not in, like, one night or anything, but over time.
Right.
Those were, like, that was my row gallery, if you would. And I'm, like, the way my bed was... I'm getting there, right? The movies that scarred me was The Grudge,
Okay.
The Boogeyman, and one other one. And that's because The Boogeyman hid in closets, and The Grudge, there was one scene in that movie where... Did you say ending?
No.
Okay. There in The Grudge, there's a scene where she's, like, in a bed, right? And she's, like, hiding from the spirit or the grudge or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she feels something underneath, like, inside her blanket. Because, like, at that time in my life, I was still going if I was scared or something. Like, I was hiding under blankets.
Sure.
She reaches down in there and pulls out this rabbit foot, which was ripped off her bag earlier by The Grudge. And then, like, she lifts up the covers, and that... whatever. it's so hard to tell a funny story without using the B word, the F word, and stuff. Like,
You could say it and I'll just like maybe like bleep it out. Maybe you could like hold like up a hand signal and I'll like.
Whatever. She's the Grudge is inside the blanket with the woman, crawling up her legs and looking up at her, going. And so that's terrifying, right?
Yeah.
For me. And so when we lived out in the country, me and Katrina's beds were like in the middle of like the hallway, and there was like some stuff there and some stuff there. The power goes out, and literally in my head, I'm imagining all of those different like horror movie villains coming after me at night. Like, I was like scared. There was like a fuzzy sock or something at the bottom of my blanket. I was freaking out, thinking that there was something there. That I thought something was climbing out of my toy chest, and I thought the boogeyman was coming out of that hole. I was freaking out.
Jesus.
But yeah, that's my scary story.
That's pretty fair. I mean, I remember watching a lot of horror movies, like with mom and like especially dad when I was a kid, and like real horror movies. I guess honestly, probably like. God, what were the horror movies? Like, I feel like I've seen so many.
Yep, yeah, I mean.
Like Paranormal Activity.
That's our guest. They're coming on for the next show. He said, "Nah, I'm gonna get it." There's someone outside. That's what we're talking about. Our studio is placed in a terrible location. Please, viewers, we need to upgrade our equipment. So check the links in the bio. You're gonna find our GoFundMe's and our merch. You also can, if you subscribe to the Patreon, you get instant access like a week early on every podcast. I don't know where I'm going with this joke. I'm waiting for you to talk, actually. The joke is gonna end when you.
Oh, I was letting you have the time.
And I was waiting for you to say, okay, anyways.
Okay, so what would be the absolute worst name you could give a child?
Worst name?
Yeah. And be very cautious of what you choose. I think Terry is a bad name. Like, Terry is just not good. Like, Terry.
Eugene.
Eugene is the name of Flynn Rider and Rapunzel.
I mean, Eugene actually is not that bad.
Eugene's kind of classy.
The worst name. I'm not even thinking of something that's like a normal name. I'm thinking of something like Ligma Balls or something. Like
Ligma Balls?
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe like a Harold.
No. Conrad. Conrad is Conrad. That is the absolute worst name you could possibly name a kid. Conrad.
Have you met a Conrad before?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Elementary school. But mostly just TV shows outside of that.
Okay. Oh my goodness. In your opinion, okay, what would be the creepiest thing you could say while passing a stranger on the street? I feel like as a man, you could definitely get away, like, with some, like, creepy shit. Like passing on this, like, street.
So if I'm passing by and I just want to be creepy?
Yeah. Be like, see you later, or like...
Don't go home.
I can run.
Or maybe like, I don't know.
Like you're still
So
sleeping.
for sure, you're going to have to kind of feel it out on how that person, like, visually, their aesthetic and stuff, like, visually look. Because, like, if it's, like, a guy that I kind of feel like he's got, like, a wedding ring on or something, I might go up to him and be like, that's not your wife. And just walk, like, just keep,
okay.
like, that, or, like, she is, like, you know, basically what I'm trying to say is the wife's a skinwalker. Something that's going to make him paranoid, like, don't look in the crawl space and walk away.
Jesus.
You said to scare them.
Okay,
they're strangers.
Yeah, you're scaring me.
What else are you gonna say that isn't gonna be like just cringy? Like, hey, I'll see you tonight. Like, I feel like just like playing with their own anxieties and saying something that might hit home to them, like, hey, or like when you're walking by, check your back seat. Just keep going.
Okay.
Something like that. I feel like because I feel like you have to commit and take the chance of it either being really good or it not hitting at all. So go for something specific.
Sure. All right, I have 2 more questions for you, Cameron, and then we'll wrap it up. We have, what fictional character is amazing in their book, show, or movie?
Skip.
But would be...
Skip. Skip. It's a lame question. I don't want to do that one.
That's not how this works.
You're gonna ask me which fictional character would be like not great in the real world?
This is my part, like...
Captain America. He'd be racist.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I feel like there was a comic that proved that he wasn't or something. I actually think I saw a TikTok on that.
I don't think he stopped 9/11.
Was he alive during 9/11?
When he went back in time. He was still alive in present day.
Okay, but I don't think he could do that.
Do what?
Stop 9/11.
But he can go back and live his life?
Yeah?
Bruh. Next question. No one's lying.
Okay. Jeez. Okay. Gosh. What's the most inappropriate place you farted? Or maybe, like, time.
I was gonna think time, like place, so that makes sense. I didn't fart, but I think I already told you the story about with Autumn. So like we went on that with the Tinder date. We were talking and we were about to go on a date, and she was gonna go see maybe her grandparents that day, or her great grandpa, but instead she gave up that canceled those plans to go on a date with me. And that night, trigger warning, he slipped in the shower and died. And so the next day I felt really bad because I wasn't that interested in her after like that, but considering what happened, I just felt really bad. So like I went over there and was like consoling her about it and talking about it. But the entire time, like she was like her head was on my stomach, like just like we were like cuddling and stuff, but like I really had to use the bathroom. And so the entire time, I know all she could hear was my stomach gurgling and going, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And when it's loud,
yeah,
like really audible, I think that's probably the most inappropriate place and time that I've ever been gassy. That's a lame question, though. You asked me some really lame questions, you know that?
Would you like to get the questions?
Yeah, I'll ask you off you one off the top of the head. Are we done?
See, you suck. You are the dumbest dad.
Bro, you're literally looking off your phone. Okay.
What is the boob or butt question equivalent for ladies?
I don't know. I think a lot of chicks that I've met, at least, like...
You can ask the same question.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people I've met in general they are butt enjoyers. Like, maybe not to the same extent, but I feel like women still enjoy a guy with a nice booty.
I mean, sure, but like...
But women's equivalent is definitely going to be height and honestly, like I wouldn't go as far as to say like build is that integral, like, because I don't know.
I don't really think it is.
I haven't really met that many women that's ever written somebody off if they were like fit or not. So height and honestly, that's probably the only thing that matters.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of things I would think would be like a deal breaker, but I feel like people don't care.
I don't know.
What do you think?
Boobs and butt to girls is height and humor. I feel like a lot of girls won't date a guy if he's not funny. Like, a guy needs...
That's because it's awkward. Have you ever hung out with a dude that didn't have a sense of humor?
Yes.
It's uncomfortable.
It's weird. It's
I
gross.
feel like they're a serial killer.
Okay, and then, what's the scariest non-supernatural thing that's ever happened to you? I almost crashed my car twice. The same night, I was going 40 and taking a sharp turn and almost ran right into a guard, like a rail. And then backing out of that area, I almost fell into a ditch. So that's probably the scariest moment of my life.
Probably when Shane like tried to straight up drown me. I think that's probably my scariest memory. But let me demonstrate. So, imagine me, like I'm like how? When did we move from Georgia to here? No, it was the house with the pool. So when did we move from Indiana to Georgia?
When I was 7.
Yeah, so like I was probably 10, if not younger. Like, I just finished elementary school, or I'm in elementary school.
Okay.
Right? So I'm small. I'm a scrawny little boy. He, like, in the pool, he's, like, wrapping his legs around me and then, like, holding my arms like this. And literally just, like, forcing me underwater with him. And he just sits there, holds it. And I'm, like, literally scratching, like, his arms, like trying to get him to stop. And then, I escape for a second, get up, get some air, and he pulls me back under. And, like, he literally says some off the wall, straight out of the pocket shizzle, something like, which I don't know if he thought he was being funny and that I was, like, okay, but it just sounds so ridiculous. But to quote him, he literally said, "How are you still alive?" end quote. But it was the way he said it that it was, like, kind of, like, not, like, a killer vibe, but that was the direct quote in that. So, yeah, I think that's probably... I'm going to take the cake.
And I actually think it's a great ending point that your older brother tried to kill you. And then said, why aren't you dead?
Dude, I mean, like, literally.
It's miraculous that you didn't die.
I honestly, like, I was literally, like, almost getting to the point where, like, my body was gonna force me to take water. You guys were inside. Like, we were in the indoor pool area with the door closed, just me and him swimming.
He wanted you gone.
I guess.
What happened after that? How'd you guys ease the tension of him just trying to kill you?
I remember I eventually, like, got away or something, like, to the edge, or, like, he, like, stopped. Because, I mean, keep in mind, thankfully, he's the one holding me under. So, like, he has to go up for air eventually, so I can't exactly, like, just die unless I don't make it up before.
Right. Okay.
But it's not like he's, like, sitting there, like, rocking me back to the surface after he almost, like, forces me to run out of oxygen. He holds me there, and then he's swimming back up, and I'm also swimming back up. So, like, I don't know. But eventually I get just, like, to the edge, and, like, we get out, and I was probably crying, and, like, I went inside, and then I quit swimming with him. No more swimming with him. Yeah.
Well, that was a great episode, getting to know you.
Yeah, it's nice getting to know you.
Yeah, I can say that I've learned a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of lame.
Do you think other people will ever pick up on our humor? Like, I don't think people understand awkward silence
This
as
would
much
definitely not be funny.
I don't think it's gonna be funny either. I think this is gonna be really cringy, honestly. And that's what I'm kind of scared of. But maybe not. Maybe it's been chill enough.
Why don't we let the viewer decide?
The viewer. Hey.
You watching this right now.
Bro, I thought you were talking about me. Like, you.
No, the viewer. Thank you for tuning in and watching the Dutton duo. We'll be sure to be back.
Yeah, like I said, all of our info is in the description and the bio, and we have several links going down. We have our Patreon, which is always good. You're always going to find good content there. You have our YouTube VOD channel, which we upload all of our VODs to there. And then we have
some montages.
You can also follow us on Twitch. Me, Hachinova, hers. This is
Alex Boyd
or something like that. We're pretty. Like, are they gonna know this is a bit? Like, this is a joke? Like, this is a meme? Like, is this humor widely, like, applicable? But yeah, if you ever if you have Amazon Prime, you can give us a free sub with your Prime subscription. Costs no charge to you whatsoever, and it's a win-win. Keeps us going, keeps the dream alive. Yeah. On the next episode, we're going to be interviewing both Shane Dawson, bro, what the James Charles.
We have a special guest.
And
special. We're not going to say
there was one more.
We can't tell them who it is.
Trisha Paytas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, well, guess it's time to sign off.
Yeah, I guess. Make sure you guys watch the outro. Podcasts are we try to do them every day, but if not every other day, they're usually between the hours of 1 to 6.
And then you can 6:30, actually.
You think that's a good podcast length?
1 to 6:30?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For like, well, damn, maybe that was a live stream. Maybe that is long as hell. Having like a 3-hour conversation with somebody and uploading that.
That's what people do on podcasts.
I don't watch them. They're too long then.
Like Frenemies was like 2 hours.
I don't think I've ever actually watched like a full Frenemies podcast myself. I just like the aesthetic of it and like the community and the vibe of it. So I tell everyone that I vibe with it.
I feel like I'm gonna like.
Okay, hold on. We should catch us on the next episode of Dutton's the Dutton podcast, where you can catch us on all of our great stories. Next time it's going to be a Reddit AMA with the fans, and we're going to introduce our new